Hey guys, it's Miss Harlequin, and in this video we're going to be learning our final set of vocabulary words from Lord of the Flies. These words come from chapters 10 through 12. Alright, so let's take a moment to rate our prior knowledge of our new vocabulary words. Remember, 1, you've never seen or heard the word before, and we go all the way up to a 4, where you're an expert on the word, you could teach it to somebody else, you know all the different parts of speech that the word can be used as. You could use it in multiple sentences, all different kinds of contexts. Our first word is compelling. Second, luminous. Third, sniveling. Fourth, ensconced. Fifth, emphatic. Sixth, truculent. And the seventh word is goad. All right, let's start with word number 1. So our first word is compelling. Something that's compelling is attractive, irresistible, or really, really convincing. You know you have a compelling argument for backpacking across Europe when your parents not only let you go, but they pay for all of your expenses. To compel, when you use it as a verb, is to drive or force into action. So your mom might compel you to finish your homework by threatening not to feed you until it's done. So she's driving you to do it. She's forcing you to do it. Now, of course, you could physically force somebody to do something, or you can compel them with threats or promises of rewards, or, again, threats of taking something away. A compelling argument compels you or drives you to agree with its logic. It's irresistible. Now, that cute skirt that you've been eyeing for months is 75% off. You feel compelled to buy it. That is a really compelling reason. It is irresistible. You feel driven to do it. There's a compulsion. That's another form of the word compel. When you use it as a noun, you talk about how you have a compulsion for something. You feel like you have to do it. You can't turn away. So again, as a verb, compel is to force someone to do something. Compelling is just another form of the word compel, right? You can describe something as an adjective and say it's compelling. You can compel someone to do something, or you could talk about somebody's compulsion. I felt compelled to leave when the couple began fighting at the dinner table. I could rewrite this as a noun and say, I felt a compulsion to leave. All right, our next word is luminous. Luminous means full of or giving off light. So during the winter holidays, there's a lot of emphasis on light. You can see luminous displays of candles everywhere, or luminous displays of holiday lighting. Now, the word has several figurative meanings, but they're all related to the basic sense of something shining. For example, you could talk about somebody's writing. An author might have luminous prose. Luminous prose is any kind of writing that's clear and easily understood. You could also talk about movie stars who have a luminous career. Their career would be described as luminous because it's bright and inspiring, right? They shine with some kind of magical star quality. So as an adjective, you describe anything as luminous if it's filled with light or very bright. I saw the cat's luminous eyes in my car's headlights. All right, our next word is sniveling. Someone who's sniveling is a whiner or a crybaby. Now, some people really don't like to go into planes. They're nervous flyers, and other people are fine with it, right? They have no reaction whatsoever, as long as there aren't any sniveling kids on board, right? That's one of the worst things that happen when you're on a plane, when you're stuck there with a sniveling baby or a sniveling little kid. Now, if you ever watched a young child have a tantrum in a store because their parents won't buy them something, you know exactly what sniveling means. That's part of the connotation. When people think of sniveling, they associate it either with very bratty kids, or they associate it with like a weak, annoying kind of person, right? It has a very negative connotation. Somebody who's sniveling is in a very off-putting way, kind of crying, whining, begging for something. So to call somebody sniveling is definitely an insult. You're implying that they're worse than childish. So again, sniveling, to complain or cry in an annoying way. Use it as an adjective to describe, usually, obviously, a person. People would be sniveling. He is a sniveling, lying coward. You can see that sniveling here is paired up with the noun coward, which, of course, has a negative connotation. Our next word is ensconce. If you ensconce yourself somewhere, you're settling in for quite a while, such as when you're home with the flu, and you ensconce yourself on the couch with the remote control, tissues, your phone, and a big glass of orange juice. So the connotation of ensconce is positive, and of course you associate it with warmth and comfort. All right, people like to ensconce themselves in a comfortable location. So ensconce actually dates back to the 1580s, where it literally meant to cover with a fort. Now today you don't need to have a protective structure like a fort in order to be ensconced, but the idea is the same. It's about surrounding yourself with something, right? You're sheltering in, you're hiding, you're comfortable, you're snuggly when you ensconce. So again, ensconce is a verb. It's something that you do. It's an action. When you're ensconcing yourself, you are firmly placing or hiding yourself or something. So the sculpture in this sentence is the thing that's being ensconced. The sculpture is safely ensconced behind glass. It is sheltered in. All right, our next word is emphatic. Emphatic means forceful and clear. Nicole's mother was emphatic when she told her not to come home late again. So she said it very forcefully with real meaning behind it. When something is emphatic, it imparts emphasis. So emphasis is actually part of the word family of emphatic. A sentence is made emphatic by, of course, adding an exclamation point. And the word carries with it a really important urgent feeling, right? You say something emphatically because there's a time restraint on it, or it is incredibly significant and important, so you really want to emphasize it. If a baseball team defeats another by 10 runs, then the victory is emphatic, because like a strong speech, the victory is clear and forceful. So something that's emphatic, again, very forceful, has a lot of meaning behind it. So as an adjective, when you say something emphatically, which is the adverb form, or you describe something as emphatic, you're describing it with emphasis or importance. You're saying it in a forceful or definite way. He declared emphatically that he did not believe them. All right, our next word is truculent. If you are quick to argue and always looking for a fight, hard to please, then you could be described as truculent. Fans upset by loss can become truculent. They can become hard to please. They can become very aggressive, right? Because they're looking for a fight. They become truculent. So this word has no connotation to truck, although it does sound kind of similar. And it's a good way to remember it, right? To think about trucks when you think of truculent. Because truculent folks are like monster trucks. They're ready to run over anything that gets in their way, right? They are, again, aggressive, looking to fight. To be truculent is to be defiant, to be aggressive, and to be quarrelsome. So a truculent student will get in trouble with teachers. In a violent sport like football, it helps to be truculent, but it's usually not a great quality outside of the football field, right? A truculent person is not necessarily somebody you want to be friends with. So again, truculent is an adjective. Someone who's easily annoyed or angered and likely to argue. Somebody who is aggressive and defiant. I don't mean to be truculent, but you are really annoying me with your wrong opinion. All right, our final word is goad. A goad, back in the day, is a pointy stick or other instrument that you use to prod something along. So it's used usually by people who work with animals, right? Sometimes they'll use the goad to goad the animals to keep moving, like a herder, sheep herder. So to goad is to poke something with that pointy stick. Now that is a very literal definition of goad. More figuratively, when you goad somebody, you are trying to poke them, but it doesn't have to necessarily be with that stick. You could verbally try to goad somebody. So the pointiness is really essential for making things leap into action. It could be pointed words or literally a pointed stick. So again, you goad people with words. You are provoking them into doing something. And again, the way that you provoke them, the types of words you choose, depends on the situation, depends on the person. A sheep herder, once again, they might hustle his flock with a goad, but also your mom's constant nagging can also goad you into doing something, like sitting up straight at the dinner table. When you're goading somebody, it is an action, it's a verb. You're urging or forcing someone to do something or to have a reaction. Even though he did not want to help, he was goaded on by a sense of duty. So here his feelings goaded him on instead of somebody's words or somebody trying to pester him constantly. All right, so now it's time to write your own sentences. You know the drill. You're writing example sentences with context clues. Think about the 5 W's. You're writing 2 sentences per word. And of course, if you use any previous vocabulary words in your sentence, so you're using the current word and some other words as well, you would get bonus points.